Cassie Oelberg in Sealands Grove, Pennsylvania. I am coming off of back-to-back National Scrapbook Day weekends. I'll tell you what, there is nothing I love more than having everybody over to the cabin, scrapbooking all weekend long, and getting to build a campfire in the spring and do mountain pies. If you have never done a mountain pie, just put in the comments and I'll tell you what it is because they are amazing. Okay, we are going to, whoop, hop over to my desktop, not back to the header banner. Here we go. Let's hop over here. So we are on the May 1st, on the 1st May virtual crop sketch, and it was super fun with this cute little banner and a border that goes across it, and the papers are just to die for. So this was the 1st May virtual crop. We are still doing the Christmas trip to Belgium, and this was in the cave Christmas market, and it was pretty neat. They had silhouettes of the soldiers in the cave, so I gathered those, and of course my kids having fun with some of the displays. And then I let's see what parts of the sketch did I use. So I used the banner, I used these backgrounds, I changed the sizes of my photos just a little, which we are going to do on the one I do today. And then I made an embellishment for the journaling down here, and I used the sign that I actually took the picture of in the cave, and I cut that down to kind of be my little embellishment and have that little background story there. So super fun and simple way to do the sketch. And next week we will do sketch 2, which is the right hand side, and I'll show you how those piece together next week. So let's go ahead and get started. So first of all, you know I love to do these on Fast to Fab pages. These are the Joy the World Fast to Fab pages, and I want to use this as my background, and I just kind of want to get rid of this because I want to do a lot of other cool fancy stuff on this page. So all you have to do is check and see how big this is. 1, 2, 3, and a little bit more. So I'm just going to do a 3.5-inch strip to cover that up. And what's really nice with these collections is that they almost always have a piece of paper to match part of the background. So I could have chosen this piece of paper, but I love this piece of paper and I used it a lot. So I chose this side because we're going to be covering a lot of it up. I also, you saw me flip it over to this side. I almost always cut stripes this way because I like to use those in borders a lot. So I want my leftover piece of paper to have the 12-inch direction going so that I can use this in a border later. So I always look at the other side of the paper whenever I'm deciding how to cut it if the side that I'm using doesn't have a direction. So it's just a helpful way to make sure that I get the most out of my paper. So now we're going to cover that up, and we just have a solid thing. Now, if you look really closely, the dots are slightly different, but we're going to do so much covering up that you're not even going to notice it when we're done. Okay, so now we need this background paper, and it is 10 by 6 on here, but I happen to know that I'm going to trim these pictures to 4 by 4, so I'm going to vary that size just a little tiny bit. I changed the size on the pictures on this one, but I did not change the size of this background, but I'm going to vary it just a little bit this time. I like to do variations on the sketches. So the background is going to be 10.5 by 6 instead of 10 by 6. Cut this at 6. I flipped it around this way because there's just a little tiny bent spot over there. So why not use the not bent spot? I'm going to go 10.5. This is just going to get laid down right up here. I always lay down my pieces and then do them right before I cut. And that way I make sure that I'm happy with it before I take it down, right? Okay, so then my other background was 8.5 by 6 or 8 by 6, and I am going to make it 8.5 by 6. Let's see what this measures to. 8.5. There we go. 6. Lay that down right there. Oh, that's so pretty. Okay, now my banner I want it to be 3 by 10. So we're going to do 3 inches. Don't forget to always put that arm up when you're measuring, and don't forget that little foot. 3 inches by 10 inches. And now we are going to snip the banner. You know what? I forgot to bring my microtip scissors over, so I'm just going to do it this way. Put that on the 45-degree line. And put up. And flip it. Put it on the 45-degree line. Lots of ways that you can cut your banner out. No wrong way. But if you forget to bring your microtip scissors over and you're on air and you don't want to make everybody wait, you go run and get them, and you end up with a perfect banner. I'm not really into perfection, so oftentimes I just snip it with the scissors, and that's the fastest and easiest way to do it, right? Okay, so far we have this part down, and now we're going to throw on what I want to use for border. That's going to go here. And I'm going to add in my photos, and then I'll do all my taping down. So I want to use these 2 photos as my top ones, and they are 3.5 by 3.5 in here, but I don't think I want to trim off quite so much on my pictures. I'm going to take off the bottom part, and then I'm going to make them 4 by 4, and that's just going to make me happier. I'll tell you what, hanging out with these 2 young adults is the absolute joy of my life. They are so much fun, and they get along so well. I love that they're best friends and that we can go on family trips and just hang out and have fun. Okay, so now we're going to do our background for this. So I'm going to matte these. I'm going to matte these in this beautiful green. So, 4.5. And then to go across, I'm going to do 8 3/4 because I want to put a 1/4 of an inch between everything there. So let's go ahead, tape these down. There you go. And then I want to map my other photo that I'm going to use. And this one, I kept it 4 by 6 instead of making it 5.5 by 3.5. And of course, we know that if you're going to mat it with a 1/4 of an inch all the way around, you can use one of the 4.5 by 6.5 inch mats. And it's just fun because that pulls in more paper options for you. And so that's going to go there. And now we're going to do our taping down. So I'm going to go down first because it's on the bottom. And we want that. Let's see, the sketch top, how far from the top? Doesn't really, but I think it's about 1/4 of an inch. So we're just going to slide this here. Then our border is going to go down next because we want that underneath. And you can see that it's kind of beat up on the back. It's because I had it on my display and it's been there for a very long time, so it can easily still be pulled back up, but it might be a little bit scratched and dented when you do that. Let's put this down, and we're going to add our banner in. Okay. The banner over further on this one. And then I'm going to add this in. And I think I actually want this under my banner. Not a big deal. Like this. These in. And then last but not least, we should probably make this straight, guys. Love reposition tape. Along with my children, it is one of the joys of my life. Slide this one over. And look how quickly that comes together. Lay it on our Fast Fab page. And you can decide whether you want this to be over top or underneath. I wanted it underneath. And then I can add in some embellishments if you'd like. And I think this would go candles. That would be cute. Put that there. I'm going to put my writing over here. And I will probably use write-on stickers for that, or else I will cut myself a little piece of paper. I don't think it needs any more embellishments because it's going to get a little writing right there and be done. And I like simple, clean pages, and that's it. So, hopefully that shows you just how fast you can make these sketches, and you can have a lot of fun doing it. And Fast Fab is the way to go. So, anyway, hope you have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon.